Thomas Partey injury update. Many of you never really got to know that this guy was injured in the 45th minute of the game, and he really came off, not because that was the plan of Mikel Arteta, but he couldn't want to risk him to it that the injury he had gotten could get worse. That is what we've been told by Mikel Arteta, and obviously his return date has been revealed. That is what we call the Thomas Partey injury update. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Rokani David is my name. We are talking about Moises Caicedo second bid that has been submitted in by Arsenal, confirmed by Daily Mail and very many others. The Independent too is coming out to let us know about what valuation is Brighton looking at to let Caicedo go and join a side known as Arsenal. And lastly, we're going to talk about Liverpool doing negotiations for two players at once. Where have they gotten the nerves to go in for Enzo Fernandez and Jude Bellingham? Because it looks like those two deals could cost them close to 260 million euros. Could they be having that money? That's what we're going to tackle about in the next 1 or 2 30 minutes here onto this channel. Smash the like button, and guys, thank you very much for keeping it this channel, and thank you for really throwing in the love, because the more you'll subscribe is the more we really grow huge in numbers here onto the Rokani Media Football. Now, Arsenal yesterday lost to Man City, but losing to Man City and losing one of the most important players of the team, known as Thomas Partey, is another big blow that any Arsenal fan wouldn't like to entertain. Now, many people thought that at half time when Partey was taken off, it was just a plan of the manager to take him off and bring on Albert Sambi Lokonga. But Mikel Arteta, after the game, told us this following about Thomas Partey. He told us that he had a rib injury, he felt something, and we didn't want to take any risks, so he could not continue. He had some discomfort, and it was getting worse and worse. Obviously, tomorrow or today, or the day after, we will have to have an MRI scan and see what he has. So, it's confirmed by the manager. Partey was taken off the field of play because he had gotten a rib injury, and he couldn't force him to stay on, because the more you force him to stay on, the more you cause trouble to him and make the injury worse. I've seen it at Manchester United, because Anthony Martial was not an injury-prone player, but because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer played him many times when he's injured, right now it's very hard for him to spend 2 months fit. He plays like 6-7 games, he misses out like 4-5. He plays some 6-7 games, he misses out the next 5. So it shows you that those injuries, if you keep them on the pitch, active in the game of football, they just become worse. That is something that Arteta doesn't want to see to it, that Thomas Partey really gets it worse. But he's getting out of that game really caused Arsenal problems, and obviously City took over the midfield battle and they really beat them by 1-0. Sambi Lokonga came in through. Looks like he was rusty because he has not been playing for a very long time, and you cannot go out and really blame him a lot, because a player that doesn't play regularly is always exposed to such rustiness. And he was rusty, he looked rusty, and that he was rusty for a reason, because he was not being played game in, game out. And I think it should be something that Mikel Arteta should know, that I should keep my players onto this level of the game of football. But it looks like Thomas Partey is not going to take long from return as far as the news we are getting is concerned. We've been told by Jack Rosa has come out and really confirmed to us that this guy is expected to return very soon. That Thomas Partey is expected to be fit against Everton. Initial tests have shown no serious injury. That is what we've been told. So when you look at what is happening at Arsenal right now, you ask yourself, if Thomas Partey is out, what are the Arsenal guys going to do? Because you can go ahead and win some games like you did against Fulham, Aston Villa. When it came to Manchester United, where you needed him most at Old Trafford, Arsenal lost. So Mikel Arteta wouldn't like to miss his big guy. And there is something I really saw Arteta talk about Thomas Partey and how influential he is for this Arsenal side. Let me try to find it out. Now, I think you have no question as to why Mikel Arteta is going in for Moises Caicedo, because he knows that this is the player he needs to bring to the club to see to it that he really gets onto the best of the game. So where is it? Where is it? And he went ahead to say the following, that is Mikel Arteta, as far as the midfield injuries are really concerned, on the midfield options, well, we have at the moment the injury of El Nini. That has not been possible to get him fit. Sambi has come in, and I think he has done well. It's true that Thomas Partey is a big influence and is a big personality and an important player in our squad. That's what Arteta really said about Thomas Partey. So he knows how important Thomas Partey is to his team, and he doesn't want to lose him. And this is the reason as to why Arsenal really wants in to bring in Moises Caicedo. And going to the Moises Caicedo story, yesterday, as Mikel Arteta was doing a post-match press conference or interviews, he was asked about Moises Caicedo's transfer request on Instagram, because no sooner had the game of Arsenal come to an end than Moises Caicedo went to his Instagram and put out a post that he wants out of Arsenal. He wants out of Brighton and wants to join Arsenal. Then Arteta was asked that question because it had just happened, and he said, "You know what, I'm going to comment on any players. You know, I'm not going to comment on any players until anything is done, and it will continue like that." But Arteta hinting to that shows you that Arsenal is in for this player, confirmed by credible sources. Number one transfer gurus have confirmed it. The first bid was rejected. They put in a second one, and even the second one is what we're going to talk about in the next 1 minute from now. But Arteta has kept on telling us the following on players that Arsenal has always been linked to, the likes of Trossard, Ben White, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko. Which other player has Arsenal been linked to? And they signed him later. So that has been a norm of Mikel Arteta. So that is it for Mikel Arteta, and I believe he's really doing a very wonderful job at the club of Arsenal, but he failed to really let us know about Moises Caicedo. Now today, the Mail has gone ahead and really confirmed to us that Arsenal have done this. Arsenal have done this. Now, the Mail via Simon Jones has told us that Arsenal have submitted a new bid of £70 million for Caicedo Moises, Brighton quoting £80 million for their star midfielder. So, Arsenal have put in a bid of £70 million. Remember, yesterday they made a bid of £60 million, and now they've gone ahead to add some more £70 million. The situation at Arsenal in the midfield room or in the engine room doesn't allow them to go out and enter Monday without getting the deal of Caicedo done. Why? Mohamed Elneny is injured. Partey looks like he's having rib problems, and they know that you never know what is going to happen to him in the next 1 or 2 months, because the moment he's out, Arsenal is having a very bad fixture in the last 10 games of the Premier League, meaning that if they don't have another CDM that is equally good as Partey, they might ruin their season. That's it. They must write off their season. So the board of Arsenal doesn't want to write off their season like that of Manchester United. They've gone ahead and made another bid of £70 million. But we are told Brighton is calling for £80 million for their star. So I believe Arsenal is going to match it because they have nothing to do. In the Premier League, the only available midfielder is Moises Caicedo. That's it. So when they don't get Moises Caicedo, I don't know who they're going to get in the Premier League, because looks like Onana is a little bit shaky and he doesn't want to leave Everton. However much he missed out on training for 2 days, looks like he's ready to come in and save Everton. The other one is Yefis Bissouma. Can Spurs really let him go? I doubt, because Spurs know that I can't strengthen my enemy. But Yefis Bissouma has also not been on point, has not been playing these games of football a lot, and he looked rusty every time he has been brought on the field of play. So the bid of £80 million is expected by Brighton, meaning that this one of 70 is going to be rejected. That's it. And very soon you're going to hear that Arsenal have made a second bid of £70 million. It has been rejected. And remember, Simon Jones via the Mail and is it Sammy McBall are the ones that really came in through and really told us that the player is planning to strike and submit a transfer request if at all this bid is not considered by Brighton. So obviously that is what's happening for Caicedo, and obviously these people are really close to this deal and they gave us information, and after them telling us that information, hours later the player put out a post that indicated how far he wants to leave Brighton. That is a public transfer request. Now, we've been told that Arsenal's latest offer of £60 million for Moises Caicedo was £30 million short by Brighton's valuation. That is the Independent, meaning that they want £90 million. £90 million. And there is a story I read from Duncan Castles that they want £100 million. So it looks like the fee that Brighton is wanting is between £80 million and £100 million. So will Arsenal break the bank and get in this player? I think they have to. Do you know why? They have nothing to do. They have nothing left in their tank, because if Partey has resumed getting injured, then it requires for them to get in a player that is really equal as Thomas Partey. So Partey last got injured, I think, in the game of Bournemouth. He missed out on Fulham. He missed out on UEFA Europa League games like 2-3. Then he missed out on the game of Aston Villa. He missed out on the game of Manchester United. He was like a month out. Ever since he returned, Partey has been fit, and I would like to send my kudos and give him his props to Thomas Partey, because he has been fit and he has kept himself available for the club of Arsenal. But this time round, he couldn't handle this. But that is about Thomas Partey and Moises Caicedo, meaning that Arsenal are really planning to really do the needful and really do a bid more than 70, because that of 70 is expected to be rejected by a club known as Brighton, because they want more for the player. Now, let's go to a little bit of Liverpool and put in some Jurgen Klopp in here for you. He's telling us that Jurgen Klopp has started discussions with both Jude Bellingham and Enzo Fernandez as plans are being drawn up for the summer. That is Foot Mercato via Liverpool Echo. Now, sorry about that. Klopp is really into turmoil. He's between a rock and a hard place. Do you know why? Liverpool looks like it's going to be hard for them to make it to the Champions League. We look at the points that are separating Liverpool and the fourth place in the Premier League. Liverpool is having 29 points and Manchester United is having 39. As it stands, United is 10 points clear ahead of Liverpool. If you are asked, which teams do you think are really going to continue winning games and which team do you think is going to continue losing games? Obviously, one will tell you United is going to continue winning games and Liverpool is going to lose more games. So it shows you that their pursuit for the fourth place to go to the Champions League is really in danger, because even Spurs is there, there is Newcastle, Chelsea might come knocking because they almost have the same points with Chelsea. So that is making it hard for them to really find themselves in the Champions League. Now, would Enzo Fernandez and Jude Bellingham be willing to come to Liverpool if at all they are not in the Champions League? That's the huge question, because these players want to be playing in the Champions League. But for Enzo Fernandez, I know he can make it happen to Liverpool, because he has been willing to go out and play for Chelsea when there is a clear indication that next season they're not going to be in the Champions League. But I think he just wants to come to the Premier League. But for Jude Bellingham, it's hard. There is Real Madrid, who are really willing to go out and really pay the amount of money that Borussia Dortmund is really calling in for. And secondly, they want to initiate him into the midfield, because the likes of Kroos are really old, Modric, and they brought in Tchouaméni and Camavinga. So looks like their ideal midfield is going to be Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Jude Bellingham. So it shows you that it's all hard for Liverpool on both ways, because Enzo Fernandez, there is Chelsea in there for him, looking like they want to get him. They've already agreed personal terms. The problem is Chelsea cannot meet the 120 million euros called in by Benfica. So will they go past Chelsea and get this deal done and dusted? That's the huge question that everyone would love to know from a club known as Liverpool. But Jurgen Klopp has had discussions to convince his players to come to Liverpool to see to it that they really solve that midfield conundrum at Liverpool. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Your reactions to Thomas Partey injury update are welcome in the comment section below. Caicedo second bid submitted, but it looks like it's going to be rejected, of £70 million. Looks like Brighton are wanting 80 to 100 million pounds. That's the amount of money I'll be looking for to get from Caicedo. Would you love Arsenal to go on and really continue to make another bid? All that in the comment section below. And lastly, do you think Liverpool will be able to really get the deals of Enzo Fernandez and Jude Bellingham at once done in the summer. I sign out for now. See you later. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. If at all you want to watch me, let's go to United Matters channel. United is playing Reading at Old Trafford in the next 1 hour. Thank you for watching in through. I hand you over in the safety hands of the Almighty Lord. Bye-bye.